Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Evil Man. We're going down.
I never got to tell my wife I like her.
Is that the guy's ghost?
Yeah.
I like you, babe.
I liked my wife, and now I'm dead.
Well, this is Evil Men, a podcast where me, Chris,
Me, Mike.
I hate doing everybody says their name like you say my name.
that's James.
You have a
Okay.
phobia of saying your name.
It just sounds corny to me.
Say
and
it.
I'm James.
Except-
and we're ham and eggs in the morning. You know?
Well,
But okay, I like it. I like the idea, but I think Chris should say it. Say our names.
Me, Chris, James, and Mike. We're the Evil Men Boys, and we do a podcast every week for years about an evil man. I mean, but it's mostly an excuse for us to joke around because we're old friends. But like old friends who also run a business together, we're like a family. And like families, sometimes it's awkward at the dinner table.
no politics, no religion, and especially no sex.
I hate that at the dinner table with family, and it's just a huge sex conversation. Enough, Grandpa.
Pass the mashed potatoes. What do you think of this position? Grandma, we're trying to have Easter dinner.
Yeah, not talk about
Yeah.
you having reverse cowgirl.
Grandma, we all hate you.
No, Dad, I haven't done everything you've done. You've done more. Well, it's good to be here. It's getting sunnier out and warmer out in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, a sovereign nation. And it's spring. It's spring again. To all the girls and boys, it's spring again. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. People are wearing shorts. People are sitting on patios when it's not quite warm enough to stay out all night on the patio. But, you know, that's Canadians for ya.
Because spring in Toronto is fun. We're near Trinity Bellwoods Park where people shoot guns at dogs running around.
They do?
No, they don't, but they should.
Okay.
I thought I saw a gun in the park. Maybe I was wrong.
Like a guy holding it, or you saw it on the ground?
Holding it, and he had the headphones on that you put over your ears when you go to a gun
Did
range.
you think about calling the police, or nah?
No, because I'm not like a narc like that. I like
Right.
people to have fun. I like people to be free and to do exactly what they want. But he was holding up a huge Magnum, like it looked like it, like Dirty Harry style gun, aimed at the dogs having fun and frolicking in the dog pit.
Really?
Yes, he was wearing jeans, jean jacket, low cut white Converse, All Stars.
Huh.
Yeah, he had long, greasy hair combed back. He had yellow tinted sunglasses on. And like I said, the earphone things that you put over your head at a shooting
Maybe
range.
it was a speed trap, like a speed thing, like police use to make sure cars aren't going too fast.
You know what?
Speed
You're
gun.
probably right. It was probably a speed trap gun to see how fast the dogs were running.
Good.
But as I was walking towards the podcast office, I did hear like, my dog, my dog.
Jeez, I mean, that makes me think he did shoot a dog just based on that memory.
I don't know.
Wow.
If I said that in court, it would just be conjecture.
Jeez. So why didn't you call the police?
First of all, one, my beliefs are every human being should be absolutely free to do everything they want, absolutely,
Okay.
without interference from any stuck-up prig. And two, I was busy.
Wow.
Yeah.
If I was a
But
cop,
spring is in the air.
spring's in the air. You can smell it. You can taste it. You can feel it.
You can waste it.
I just felt a flower on the ground as I was walking to the studio. I just
Wow.
felt it.
You bent down and touched it with your
I
fingers?
touched it with the finger and said, "I can feel spring, everybody," and no one
Wow.
stopped to talk to me. But anyway,
Man, nothing you do works.
nothing I do works. Just this podcast.
I
Someone-
can't believe you touched a flower and said, "Spring is here, everybody." I touched a flower,
I can
and
feel
nobody joined your glee.
Yeah, I was drooling. I was like,
I'm
can
mad
feel
for
spring.
you.
Yeah. I walked around with my winter coat on today, but it was too hot.
Oh no!
Where'd you put it?
Well, it's right over there in the corner.
You must be sweaty.
Well, I was sweaty on the streetcar, so I took it off.
Oh god! You know
good.
what? I'm having one of those things where I'm wearing this shirt, and I think I've worn it just a few too many times recently.
Yeah.
I'm sitting down here. I
Yeah.
got a whiff. Stinks in the
The
armpits.
spring stinker.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Then you're out all day, and your shirt kind of stinks.
Yes. Yeah, and we're going to some fancy stuff after this.
Yes.
So what are you gonna do?
I just have to talk with my arms in a bit. I don't think you'll smell unless.
Maybe you can pull a mic and wash the armpits of your shirt in
Hand
the
wash.
sink
Hand
before we
wash.
go.
That's not a bad idea.
I think you should
And
do
you
it.
know what? I'll do my damn underwear too.
Do the
While I'm at it, why
2 for
not?
1.
By the way, that clip is a hit.
Is it?
Sort of. I mean,
No, that's good. It's really funny.
It's almost cracked 1,000 views.
Do you think that people being able to see us do this podcast is actually a detriment to our to gaining fans?
We should hire actors to mouth, they learn what we've said and mouth it, but they're like beautiful male models.
I do.
Oh, we should hire male models to
Yeah.
mouth a lot of things.
Yes.
I remember being a kid and like liking radio hosts, and then in your mind they're like really
The
cool,
cool- yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
see them in some
Disgusting.
magazine ad or something, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh god, he's a bummer.
Yeah.
This guy. Anyway, that could be how people think about us.
Yeah, in your mind they look like Zach the Lego Maniac. Like they got backwards hats and
Yeah.
shades on and like jammers.
Fred from Humble and Fred. Oh,
Not as cool as you'd think. I don't mind. He was mean to me when I was on Humble and Fred.
God, they're on.
Fuck you,
Sonar,
Fred.
I think.
Are they?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
so maybe-
But
I
I
don't
like them.
Oops.
Definitely.
Well, let me.
What's up, Howard?
We'll take that out. We'll take it out.
Love Humble Howard. No,
Well, let me throw this.
it's
out.
real deal. I love Humble Howard. Fred was kind of mean to me. That's not a big
Yeah,
deal
you're
to
right.
say.
Very fair. Speaking of clips, shout out to Eve's again. Eve, excuse me. He's
Silent
been
S.
making clips for us
Yeah.
on Instagram, and we really appreciate it. And follow us on Instagram at EvilMenPod.
Can I give you guys
think.
two? Could I give you two guys some spring advice?
Yeah.
moving
Yes.
We're going to need it as the weather warms up.
forward? Yeah. So take this advice from me.
Mm.
Don't let an ounce of spring pass you by. Pay attention. Be in the moment. Do not. Now is not the season to bury your head in your phones.
No.
Wow, that is
Okay.
beautiful, Chris.
I'm burning my phone after we record this episode so I can pay attention to bees and flowers and nice colors and all sorts of
Wow.
spring things.
Pastels.
Pastels, Easter egg
Tulips?
hunt, tulips.
How horny do tulips make you? Hey?
Very, very.
They look like upside down dickheads.
Do they? Well, I forget what a
Yes.
tulip looks like. Which are the? I gotta look them up. I'm not very good with flowers here.
This coffee has made me hyper.
So last episode you were high out of your mind on LSD. In this episode you're high on coffee.
By the way, that clip where you are talking about innocently
Washing his
washing
underwear.
your underwear in the sink,
Mm-hmm.
I am laughing like a damn maniac. Like I look unhinged.
You're laughing like the Mad Hatter from Lewis Carroll's stories. And you were wearing a hat, so you're like a Mad Hatter for the modern age.
Don't waste your springtime running around like the rabbit in Alice in Wonderland going, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late.
Yeah.
Stop, take a breath, focus, be here now.
As Oasis said, be here now. Take your pocket
Yes.
watch out of your pocket, throw it in the lake.
By the way, Oasis owes Ram Dass money for Be Here Now. That's his book.
Who the hell is Ram Dass? People talk about Ram Dass. Is that a transformer?
Yes, actually transforms your mind if you pay attention to Ram Dass.
Who is Ram Dass?
Mike, God.
I could jump in here and give a little bit of information about the origin of the term Mad Hatter.
All right.
Would that be interesting?
Is it Lewis Carroll?
Well, why they say Mad Hatters?
Oh, I like this. I know this.
It is kind of good.
I know it. Do you want me to say it?
Please.
No, read it. Go.
Well, AI.
But I know it.
AI Google says
I'm proud of how I know something.
AI Google says, well, they weren't actually mad in the sense of having mental illness, but rather hatters in the 18th and 19th century used mercury to stiffen felt hats, and that gave them a neurological disorder called erethism.
Here's your hat.
which led to symptoms like tremors, irritability, and even psychosis. They were so common among hatters that the term mad as a hatter became a popular way of describing
if you
someone.
became a
acting funny.
hatter, they were all walking around like Charles Manson.
Yeah.
They couldn't have been making that much money for that for injuring themselves.
I wonder
like that.
who started putting that together. That'd be a crazy conspiracy theory. At the
Every
time.
Mad Hatter had a gang of homely women doing their bidding, like Charles Manson. Here's the thing.
What they
I-
used mercury and everything back then.
I don't
know.
have mercury in my hat, but I am mad. But the mental illness kind.
Right, so you have the mental illness madness, not the
Yes.
mercury poisoning madness.
Yes. So I don't know how I would get along with ancient Hatter at a party. We'd have two different madnesses clashing.
That's true. Yeah, do you find, Chris, when you meet someone with a different kind of madness that it is tough for you?
It's competitive. We get competitive.
Right.
Yeah, and honestly, I go home and I toss and turn at night, mulling over everything we said to each other, being like, what did that Mad Hatter mean when they said that my mental illness wasn't the
Right.
same or
Right.
wasn't as mad as their madness?
Yeah,
You know, I get competitive.
Totally.
mercury.
Yeah. Mercury, Venus, Mars.
Yeah.
Jupiter. I remember my parents telling me
Sometimes I
that
put Jupiter in my hat to make it stiff.
kids would play with mercury
Yeah.
in like the 50s and 60s in science class. Just have like
Really?
my mom told me like they just have
No
little
way.
beads of mercury like in their palm of their
Are you
hand.
kidding?
People didn't know it was like an unstable cancer-causing like thing. Yeah.
Don't you think sometimes?
Mary Curie used to lick uranium glow pops.
It's funny now we're like, oh my God, there's you can't do this and that. And it's probably for the better, but then sometimes you think back to the previous generation and they were holding mercury and smoking and
Yeah.
doing all sorts of shit and they're fine, I guess.
Doctors used to smoke and then punch you in the face and say, that ought to fix your bum cheek.
Oh boy.
Speaking of doctors, I went to the dentist Friday.
Oh my
and
God, Mike, you didn't tell us.
What
I
the hell?
had some X-rays.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And the mouthwash they prescribed me is working. The hygienist said my gums are bleeding 60% less than they were last time. So thank you. That's a win.
Specific measurement on her end.
Absolutely. And then they took an X-ray, and I have a cracked back tooth.
Oh no.
Oh, my
Cracked back
God.
tooth. But they're like, you must be in severe pain, sir. You need a crown immediately. And I was like, I have not felt anything.
Maybe the pain in your life,
Yeah.
numbs the
Neutralizes.
physical pain.
Numbs. Yeah.
They were
That's what
like-
I said to her. And she said, okay, we'll send that to your insurance company.
Oh, good.
They're like, looks like your back tooth is showing signs of sheer neuroses 24/7. You don't clench your jaw by any chance, do
You've
you?
never seen a tooth crack itself of its own volition before. Here's a video of it just. But they're
Your
like,
back molar here seems to be suicidal.
but they were like, we're gonna take an X-ray of your back cracked tooth and send it to the insurance company because you need a crown immediately. And they were like, you should book it sooner than later.
Fuck.
And I said, by any chance, can you tell me how much that will cost? And they were
Right.
like, $2,500.
Ugh.
So
Hopefully they cover
You
that
have to
thing.
do it.
I gotta do it, or else they said I'll die.
Really?
They said it with their eyes. So I have to, I guess, figure out if I'm getting a damn crown or if I'm pulling it out.
Can I ask you a question?
wonder how
That's
you
a bit
did it.
of a digression.
It was an old filling that has cracked.
Oh, so it was already a filling there.
There's a filling, and then the dentist was like, the way they used to do it, they would just pound the filling into the tooth, and that may have caused it to eventually crack
Dentists are it's a
Beautiful.
racket. That
Yes.
filling probably was a tiny little machine meant to slowly crack your tooth
open.
over time so that you pay more money down
Yeah.
the road.
Yeah.
Did you wear cool shades when they were looking in your mouth?
I wore shades that were greasy and dirty because I don't think they washed them between patients. And
It's funny imagine you like, all right, throw the sunglasses in the laundry machine.
Yeah. There's like pubes on them and lint and
Put these
stickers
on.
from bananas. You're like, where were these?
yeah.
Yeah, greasy fingerprints, fat sauces on them.
You might be
Some hot sauces on them.
fixing my teeth, but these are bad for my darn eyes.
Yeah. We're not good with eyes. We don't think about eyes as much as we think about teeth in here.
Dentists don't know eyes.
Yeah. You want to go to eye guy.
We want to put a crown on your eye, and it'll cost $5,000.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Looks
the
like you've
latest-
been grinding your eyes.
I heard an interview with Paul McCartney where he said he does eye yoga
What?
to keep his eyes healthy because the eyes are a muscle.
You say yes. I say I do eye yoga. Oh, God.
You know what? My eyes have been like tired lately. I think I've been looking at screens
You
too
remind
much.
me in a way of Paul McCartney. James.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel like that.
Yeah.
Well, I genuinely wonder what he does because I've found myself being like, oh, my eyes.
He was like, after 20 minutes, I take a break, I do eye yoga. And you look out the window and you stare at something like 20 meters away for 20 seconds.
That's good. I'm going to do that.
And then you give yourself a rest. Then you
I
stare
do eye
intently.
yoga. I do eye yoga.
And then he also said,
I like to see his eye
Yeah.
doing downward dog, and you can see his little butt in the air.
he also is 82, I think. And throughout his entire musical career, he takes great pride in the fact that he's like, I'll do a show for 3 hours and I never take a sip of water. His whole thing is
Cool.
I defiantly refuse to drink a sip
Okay.
of water when singing and sweating for 3 hours.
Do you guys
That's so
find
cool.
this? I think our parents' generation, they don't give a fuck about water. I've never seen my dad drink a glass of water in my
I think
life.
a lot of my mom's issues now in her early 70s are from dehydration.
You
Yeah.
got dry, Mom, Chris. Face it.
Ebony's dad.
I got her mom lube for Christmas.
Ebony's dad, she's like been trying to get him to drink water. He never drinks water. Like old
Yeah.
people don't, they just think water's stupid.
Because of
Yeah.
the Woodstock generation, right? They were like, end the war in Vietnam,
Yeah.
get Nixon out of the White House. We're never going to drink water.
Yeah. Yeah.
No way, man.
Yeah.
No, it's true. They're yuppies from the 80s. They didn't have time to drink water. They were
Cocaine,
investing
martinis.
Orange
Yeah.
juice from concentrate, Kool-Aid,
in orange drink.
Crystal
It was the height of
Light,
orange drink.
Sunny Delight. Yes, orange drink.
Yeah. Everything was orange in the 80s,
Everything was
Oh,
orange. in the
yeah.
80s.
including the future president.
Oh my God.
Right?
Yes.
That was when he was first known.
Yes.
Wall
born.
Street
Have you guys seen
real
that
estate
movie
man.
about him, The Apprentice, that came out? I wonder if it's good.
No.
I like that guy, Sebastian Stan.
Yeah. And another good actor's in it.
Mm.
The guy from
Succession.
Jeremy.
Jeremy Strong.
Sufficient.
Strong.
Jeremy Stan.
I almost called the show Sufficient.
Sufficient. Coming up next, an all-new episode of Sufficient.
That's-
Everyone has exactly what they need.
Where should I put this? Oh, over there's fine. Sufficient.
Excuse me.
Well, I think that we are having a great time. Like a family.
It's like a road trip, and Chris is driving. You know, and
You
I'm
ever
in
get in a
charge.
fight with a family member by accident and you didn't know it was gonna happen and you feel terrible about it? Like they tell you, "Hey, you hurt me." You ever
Hey.
have that?
Hey, nephew, can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah.
It's just that, you hurt me. You made your uncle cry.
We've had this talk before, nephew. Your uncle is sensitive.
Oh, speaking of uncles, sorry
Uh-oh,
to
here we
sidetrack.
go.
Last night I had Chinese food with the family as a pre-birthday meal.
nice.
Celebration.
Happy upcoming birthday.
Thank you. And Terrence said, I'm surprised that when you guys were talking about He-Man the other day, I don't think we brought it up. They have,
This is our third episode now where He-Man comes up.
He-Man comes up all the time now.
I love it.
They have reimagined He-Man and rewritten the canon so
Yeah.
that now
Mm-hmm.
Skeletor is He-Man's uncle, whereas when we were kids, he was
Oh.
not. But they've done like a Star Wars thing, like we got to make it like Luke and Darth Vader. So Skeletor is, I don't know, He-Man's uncle.
He-Man, I'm your uncle.
I would have thought though that Skeletor was like a whole different kind of being. Like he couldn't be related. He's a skeleton guy.
So he's now King Randor's brother, who is He-Man's father.
How Randor is that?
Club Randor.
Skeletor.
So Skeletor invited me over for dinner.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's charming.
Neuro.
He's a nice guy. He was nice to me. Bill Maher looks like Alf.
He does. So are they saying Skeletor then was a human who lost his flesh, or what's the deal?
Maybe
Like
he's wearing a
Gollum,
mask.
He got demented with the power of Grayskull.
Maybe he's demented. Maybe he's wearing a mask. Maybe he has had a bit too much cosmetic surgery.
You know what would be so funny if we discover our segments about He-Man blow up, and we have to we realize we could get rich changing it to a He-Man podcast for like nostalgic.
Mm-hmm.
I sincerely have no problem with that at this point in my life.
Yeah.
Michael
those toys-
Mongiardi, can we change this to a He-Man podcast right now?
Yeah, sure, it's your call.
Nice.
All right.
Thank you to
So what would you
Michael
call
from
it? Is it still-
Sonar.
Is it still Evil Men?
Masters of the Puniverse.
Podcast Grace. No, that's better than mine. Masters
No.
of the Universe.
Masturbating to the universe.
That's
A new
great
He-Man
science
podcast.
name.
He-Man. He-Men.
What about
We just call it from Evil Men to He-Men.
Evil Men?
Evil Man.
That's pretty good.
I love it.
Call me old-fashioned, but I want Skeletor to be a skeleton for real, and I don't want him to be He-Man's uncle.
Yeah.
You're ruining my childhood.
Yeah, Mattel. Is it Mattel or Hasbro?
Mattel.
Either, whatever toy conglomerate is in charge of the He-Man brand.
Big toy.
Turn back the clock. Skeletor is not He-Man's motherfucking uncle.
Yeah.
Whoa.
He's just a mean skeleton man.
Yeah. How could you do this to us, big toy?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's not his fucking uncle. I'm gonna fucking this will be the one thing that will drive me to organize a revolt.
A man set off a suicide bomb in a Toys R Us in Toronto today over some sort of dispute he had in his mind with He-Man.
The bomb only blew up his left hand.
Bystanders overheard him muttering the word, "He's not an uncle,"
He's not an uncle.
before the bomb exploded.
Yeah.
Well, guys, before we get to this week's topic, allow me to talk to you about our Patreon account that you can find at patreon.com/evilmen. And when you sign up, you get 2 bonus episodes a month, and you get to listen to our old bonus episodes, and you get to talk to us on Discord, and you just support us, which we really, really appreciate if you like the podcast. So please check it out, patreon.com/evilmen.
You also get pre-warned when we're going to do another one of our notorious live shows, and you often get we usually offer a little bit of a discount for
That's
tickets,
true.
right?
That's true.
Just saying, keep your ears peeled.
Oh.
Also, for a limited time only, if you catch me in the next 3 days, I will take you to Taco Bell and get you a chili cheese burrito.
If a Patreon finds you on the street,
Mm-hmm.
you will buy them a Taco Bell cheese burrito.
In the next 3 days.
Okay. Okay.
You've been warned, public.
So this is coming out probably April
Something.
17th to
15th?
20th.
My birthday.
Oh my God.
My birthday.
Happy birthday. Wait, it is your birthday now then, technically.
It's my damn birthday as the day this episode is released
How do
into
you
the world.
feel?
And how do you feel? Do you feel older? Happy birthday.
I feel kind of weird. Like don't feel my age, but I know I've aged a year. I feel
Age is
good.
nothing but a number.
Age ain't
Yes.
nothing but a number.
You're
Yeah.
still very much at the very beginning of your understanding of life.
Yes, I have my whole life ahead of me.
Yeah.
And I've got a feeling I'm just getting started.
It sounds like it really sounds like you're saying that sarcastically.
Look out, world. Here I come.
Look out, world, here I come.
Well, happy birthday.
Yeah,
Thank
happy
you.
birthday, Mike.
Thank
It's
you.
so nice to make it.
Yes.
Right now in the listeners' timeline, you're in England having your birthday with your girlfriend.
Yes, probably with
Perfect.
Sue's. I think she's taking me on a special birthday trip to the Winston Churchill bunker near the Houses of Parliament, which was built for World War II as an underground bomb-proof bunker where they could plan the like war tactics. But after the war, they found out that it would not have withstood a direct hit, and they all would have died in there.
Wow.
So fun stuff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a fun birthday thing.
Hopefully, it's not bombed when we're in there.
I've
Yes.
always wondered how effective hiding in the earth would have been
Yeah.
during battles. I would. They should have planned stuff running, like constantly running.
Like a truck run.
Like Churchill would be running, and then two assistants would be carrying his table with the maps on it.
they're
and
always
running-
in motion.
Yeah, always in motion. Like zigzagging when you're being chased by someone.
Yeah. And it would have done Churchill a bit of good if he got some physical activity as
You
well.
know, we don't
Yeah.
talk about his weight enough and the
Yeah.
example he set for
Thank
future
you.
prime ministers.
Yes.
Mhm.
That it's it's not a great example to set. Like, was he making any effort at all?
I mean, he was always smoking cigars, drinking brandy, I think, but yet he helped win World War II, and he did it while being big and beautiful.
That's
His
true.
brain and war strategies were his top priority. And that's what that shows to me. When you're that morbidly obese with smoking cigars all the time, it shows to me that you have more important priorities to focus on.
If Churchill was around now, he'd
Yeah.
probably have those veneers, those
Yeah.
really white teeth,
Full head of hair.
full
Yeah.
head of hair from Turkey.
Yeah.
He would have been on Ozempic.
Yeah.
Probably would have had abs because he
And-
could afford a trainer.
Instead of the V for victory that we always see the photograph of, he would be like, sun's out, guns out, and he'd
Yeah.
be showing us his huge biceps.
By the way,
Probably his dick out as well.
For well, these days.
Yeah.
we're getting this on video, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to say that I don't know if
These angles are not.
too
Always-
complimentary.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to say that I don't know if you guys can tell, but I just got back from Turkey, and you can see the new hair.
Oh.
What?
Yeah. I think.
Can you
How
see?
many did they put in?
What do you mean? There's a lot
Yeah,
up there.
no, there is. Yeah.
There's about see, so it's like it used to just be the sides for a long time,
Yeah.
but now you can see on top here.
Yeah. Did
There's
you?
a whole like almost like freshly planted field of new hair.
Chris, you look like Robert Plant in the 70s.
Oh my God, sneaking Sally down the alley. Right?
Yeah,
Something
Robert
like
Plant.
that.
But did they?
Oh, Robert Plant. I was thinking of Robert Palmer. Yes, I look like Robert Plant. Squeeze my lemon till the juice runs down my leg.
Would you mind squeezing my lemon? Robert Plant.
Yeah.
1972.
What? We have to do a song about squeezing my lemon.
Jimmy, John, and a bassist, stop the recording session. We don't have a single blues song about lemons.
I love the lemon song.
A lemonade.
So that's also what inspired me
No, it's-
to get all this fresh new hair implanted on the top of my head. See, you can see it. I'm
yeah,
touching it now.
Yeah. My question, but like, did they tell
That
you?
is from Turkey,
Yeah.
Istanbul.
Did they tell
This
you?
is from Istanbul.
Right.
right.
What,
I
James?
just no. It's just did they tell you like how many hairs they were gonna put on? Is just my question. Like when you go
Well,
in,
there's a price option sheet,
right.
and I paid $25.
So they put in like 10.
Whoa, what? Well, but
Yeah.
there's hairs there now
There-
that weren't
yeah.
there.
That is cool. Yeah. Check it out on YouTube at youtube.com/evilmenpodcast, I think.
Brand new, full
Wanna
head of
see
hair,
Chris's new hair.
straight
Yeah.
from Istanbul. I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Patreonios. I used $25 from the pool
Yeah.
to do
Your
to
support,
go over there.
listener support.
Yeah.
That's why it is so important. We get that support because we need.
But
we need
look
to
at
get
this,
25 more hairs on that head.
But can we look at the wide shot?
Mm-hmm.
Three men, middle-aged men with full heads of hair now.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you, President Erdogan, for helping our friend Chris.
Why doesn't
James.
Canada start doing this hair stuff? Good for Turkey. Shout out Turkey.
Maybe that's how Carney will diversify if he
Yeah.
gets elected.
Like, why don't we do some law that says we can do a hair transplant? I don't even
Canada
know why.
has to diversify now. We're being attacked by our best friend.
Yeah.
We need
Exactly.
to get everybody on the planet
We should
traveling
become the-
here
yeah,
for hair implants.
hair transplants, penis and lengthening surgery, Brazilian butt lifts. Now there are Ontario butt lifts.
Yeah.
Like, let's start thinking about this stuff.
Ontario should be known for cosmetic surgeries.
Yeah.
For aesthetic purposes.
Yeah.
Brand new eyes.
Brand new
Beautiful
eyes.
eyes.
Brand new
I
eyes.
want to be fully redone to look like a man from Thunder Bay.
Yeah.
To have that look.
There's big, strong men
Big,
who
strong man.
drive trucks.
Yes.
Truck
Huge
implants.
Truck implants.
Oh my
F-150
god!
implants.
I want my lower body to be an
Dodge Ram.
18-wheeler.
Like a
oh,
mech.
big truck.
Mike, you're describing a mech
Yes.
from I
love
anime
those.
or whatever. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
you could just become a cool mech.
Oh my god, dude. Ontario should totally have mech implants.
I want my
We should
body
turn
Turn
do
you
it.
into like
Yeah.
cybertronic
We
Let me
need
tell
some
you,
advantage.
Astro Men.
Let's just do it.
Here's what it is. We want to help you look like your favorite things in Ontario. We're going to, for the price of $20,000, we'll make your body look like a barbecue.
Do you miss the trucker convoy? Now we can bring the trucker convoy to you by turning your legs into trucks.
But you think, oh, that sounds great. I'll just zoom around everywhere. But what they actually do is, like, it's two trucks pointing downwards. You still have to uncomfortably walk on the trucks. Like you can't just roll around.
And each footstep sounds like like a truck horn.
God.
No, we'll be fine.
Well, enough about body alteration surgery. James, who's the freaking subject of this week's 2-part Evil Men documentary deep dive?
Well, Mike, what do you think of, or who do you think of when I tell you this sentence? James Hartnett poked you.
I think 911, I'd like to report an assault.
Oh, that's how you'd react, huh?
Yes.
If I gave you a poke?
Yeah.
Well, I said that because I'm talking about Mark Zuckerberg, the creator of Facebook.
Ah, the social network.
Yes.
He's one of the Zucker brothers who made Airplane.
Yeah, and Naked Gun?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. This was suggested by Mats on the Discord, and honestly, probably many others. It was a really popular suggestion. People don't love Mark Zuckerberg.
Huh. Interesting. I wonder why.
Well,
Max is a famous UFO expert, by the way. We have a
Yes.
fan who's like a famous UFO expert.
she is, and she's told us lots of stuff on there. She's like doing her thesis, her PhD thesis, I think, on to do with that. So it's pretty cool.
Please tell me a UFO is going to be discovered soon that changes the whole trajectory of the human civilization moving forward, because we need something
Well said.
that unifies us all together.
Now let us begin with part 1 of the story
Oh, right.
of Mark Zuckerberg.
Right.
Mark was born in 1984. Good Tina Turner song, I think. 1984, if you remember that one. Maybe not.
Private Dancer?
I think she had a song called 1984.
Oh.
I think you're confusing Tina Turner with
my-
George Orwell, the famous novelist.
Yeah.
You're right, because George Orwell, he used to do that thing where he'd dance and had his famous thighs and the short skirt, right?
Yeah.
He wrote a novel called You're Simply the Best as well.
Right,
Also,
right.
there was a great Van Halen album called 1984 that had
Yeah.
Jump and Panama and many others
Those
on it.
rock.
As predicted by George Orwell.
Yeah.
He was
When
like, they'll one day have a big hit with a keyboard riff, not a guitar solo.
When you are driving or something and you hear Jump, it's like, oh my God, I can't imagine what what would have felt like to first have heard that in 1984. I mean,
I
it's
know.
a wild song. It's so good.
I know.
Panama too. Fuck. Anyway, Zuckerberg was born in White Plains, New York, to a psychiatrist and a dentist. Oh, don't tell Michael.
Oh, I can feel my tooth cracking a bit more.
And how does that tooth cracking make you feel? Both parents.
Yeah. No, Mike, this is an awkward one here. Any guesses on what Mark Zuckerberg's mom's maiden name was?
Michael Balazzo. No, I know this.
Yeah.
Kempner.
Yeah.
Suze is a distant relation of Mark Zuckerberg, and we're trying to make him pay up and give her at least $1 million.
That'd be awesome.
US.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mark,
He-
if you're listening,
He owes it to her.
Mark, if you're listening, Mike is dating your cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you like that?
How do you like them apples?
How do you like the idea of this guy in, kissing and everything? Your cousin,
I've
dude.
kissed your cousin, Mark. Pay up the money, and I'll stop.
This man sitting beside me that you see here, this specimen,
Yeah.
Yes.
has insidiously
Well,
implanted himself into your
well,
family.
I think your choice of words there needs a rewrite. But yeah.
He meticulously crafted an elaborate plot
Yes.
to scheme himself
Yes.
into your family at the dinner table so that he could join the big family celebrations in White Plains, New York.
Yeah.
So pay up.
So
Yeah.
pay up. I love your cousin.
Well, now this is hardly, I think, going to come as a shock to anyone. Mark was into computer programming as a kid. I mean, come on, obviously.
Ew.
But at the age of 11, I don't know if you guys remember how you felt at 11, but when Mark was 11, he created something called ZuckNet. It's a program that allowed the computer at his family home to be connected with his dad's computer at the dentist office so they could communicate with each other.
Hey, son, we got a guy with real fucked up teeth in here. And then Mark Zuckerberg's at home going, LOL.
Yeah, ZuckNet.
Poo emoji.
Poo emoji.
When I was 11, I was playing with a ball that a string was attached to a paddle. And you had to keep paddling the ball, and you couldn't miss the ball.
Yeah, no, he was definitely.
And my dad was nowhere to be found. Why
Well.
do I have a different life than him?
By the way, Chris, you posted on Instagram a photo of you as a kid, and boy, you were a cute little boy.
I had the world was my oyster in grade 7.
Yeah,
And then I blew it. But thank you.
yeah.
No dad. Traveling.
Right.
You heard it here first, folks. James thought that child Chris was attractive.
Yeah.
Well, if
that's
I was
right.
a little girl, I would have.
How
think
many
that's
times on this
defensible.
podcast has James said, if I was a little girl, and then drifted off for a bit?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so Zuckerberg basically created the internet at 11 to talk to his daddy.
Yeah, pretty much. He found high school wasn't interesting enough, so they sent him to a prep academy so he could get more challenged.
Yeah.
He did well in this prep school. He was seen as brilliant. He was the captain of the fencing team,
That's awesome.
and he taught himself how to speak French, Hebrew, Latin, and ancient Greek in high
No
school.
way.
Yeah. So he's clearly
He is smart, for real.
I think I know, like, it seems like with Elon, there's certainly debate if he is actually a smart guy, really.
Mm-hmm.
I think Zuckerberg, it seems like he is smart. He's just
Yeah.
weird.
Mm-hmm. He didn't just stumble into a company.
No.
I mean, a dumb guy couldn't have created Meta and the virtual office that he did.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Good point.
A dumb guy couldn't have decades worth of collections of intimate conversations between all of us just ready to be accessed to blackmail the whole planet whenever he wants. Oh, God. What did I say on there?
That's the thing. Well, we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
So while he was in high school, he built a music player for the computer called Synapse Media Player. I'd never heard of it, but it got released and everything. Got
That's
a 3
cool.
out of 5 in PC Magazine.
That's
Yeah.
great.
And he had offers from Microsoft to buy it for over $1 million.
And he's a teen?
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah.
In high school, I had a paddle with a ball and a string attached to it. I just kept whacking back and forth.
Yeah.
No, Dad.
No. So he finishes high school.
That's wild. He's smart.
Yeah, that alone. And big name companies wanted to recruit him, but he said, "No, I'm going to Harvard."
Okay.
Harvard.
Interestingly, one of my old friends, shout out, his wife went to Harvard and like lived in the same dorm as him or something. I don't think she knew anything about all
Yeah.
his stuff, but she like had met him and stuff. Something like that. Anyway,
Cool.
he started at Harvard in 2002, just after 9/11, I
Oh, that
guess.
must have been so tough for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now this was kind of interesting. So Rolling Stone said that, Mark was kind of used to being the hot shot. He's the genius at this prep school. He's the smart guy. But you go to Harvard, everybody's smart.
Yeah.
And he's not really
Yeah.
standing out in the same way. It's like, well, yeah, everyone's good at computers here, man. It's Harvard, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
So he kind of retreated into an online world and felt like a loser a bit. What a shock.
No,
It's hard to
Mark.
imagine.
Mark, please.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I know. So he dove into his programming work. He wrote a program called Course Match that allowed users to make class selections based on the choices of other students to help form study groups. Whatever, it didn't really blow up or anything. But
Yeah.
one night, everything changed, and this was immortalized in the film The Social Network. Mark got rejected by a woman named Jessica Alona, and it's 2003, and he gets in a bad mood. He gets drunk, and I know Mike still does this. He started live journaling,
Yes.
blogging.
Mhm.
I know Mike
Yes.
does that when
Oh,
he's
shit.
having a bad night.
I get out my fencing sword and I get out my live journal login.
Yep, have
Yeah.
a few beers.
Yeah.
Well, Mark Zuckerberg wrote in his live journal, I think it was a live journal, a blog. Forgive me if I got that wrong. He wrote, quote, "Jessica Alona is a bitch.
Oh my
I need to
God.
think of something to take my mind off of her. I need to think of something to occupy my mind. Easy enough now. I just need an idea. I'm a little intoxicated, not gonna lie. So what if it's not even 10 p.m. and it's a Tuesday night?" He wrote that.
He wrote that.
Yeah. So he's drunk. He's in his dorm,
Mm-hmm.
probably friggin' horny. And
Isn't horniness the one thing that drives us to all to madness ultimately anyways?
it's men are so predictable.
And
a pretty
Mercury.
girl rejects him. He gets drunk, and he actually is, a big asshole really in this upcoming story.
Yeah.
He starts flicking through like the dorm's websites that they called a Facebook, which was basically just like, here's everybody that lives in this dorm and a picture of them. They called it a Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a photo directory. So Zuck, he keeps live journaling, and he said, quote, this is the same night, he wrote, "Some of these people have really horrendous Facebook pics. I almost want to put some of these faces next to photos of farm animals and have people vote on which is more attractive."
People, but it was only women, right?
This is just what he's saying
right.
at the time. He said people.
I see.
So he starts thinking more and more about this. He's drinking a bunch of beers, and he goes, "You know what? Maybe I could do this not with farm animals, but why not put photos of two students together and have people vote on who was the hottest?" And actually, I don't know. Maybe it was just women.
I think it was to rate.
Either
women.
way,
yeah.
it's clearly from that point of view of like a woman rejected him, so he's mad and like wants to call women ugly. Clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, by early morning, he had hacked all of Harvard's dorm directories, collected their private user data, and blogged about the whole thing. And he created this website and called it Face Mash, basically a who's hotter of basically girls in Harvard in this dorm. So this prank site blew up in
I think I
Harvard.
remember this story.
Yeah. And this really opened his eyes. He said, quote, "People are way more voyeuristic than I would have thought." It was kind of a huge revelation for him. So Face Mash was only up for a few hours before Harvard shut it down. But yeah, First, sort of clearly shitty thing, I would say, hacking people's personal photos to basically make fun of people and calling them ugly is sort of first, I would say, clearly shitty thing. Anyway, so Mark comes out of this face mash situation feeling like a somebody again. Now he has like status at Harvard like he did in high school. He's a genius prankster in people's eyes. In some people's eyes, like a tech punk guy even. And so Harvard dropped their charges against him and he was feeling good. He was like back on the, the path to notoriety or whatever.
Right.
So now we get to the Facebook.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Sometimes at Harvard, did he have fries and gravy in the cafeteria?
Let me just check. Yes, he did once in a while.
Oh, awesome.
But it was in the States, so they didn't call it poutine or anything. It was just fries and gravy.
Fries and gravy, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't, I didn't add cheese in the question. Okay.
Was your guys' high school cafeterias good or really gross? Mine was horrible.
It was pretty gross. It was all just deep fried chicken fingers and fries and
Yeah.
weird, gross sandwiches.
Mine had literally a Tim Hortons and pizza kiosk in the cafeteria.
Whoa!
Wow.
But in my Dalhousie cafeteria, the Frosh 15 or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I totally ate fries and gravy like every day.
Higher learning.
Yeah. Yum, 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 yum.
I remember my dining hall at university, like I'd get up at like 11:30, walk in and then just drink like 2 Cokes from the Coke machines for like caffeine and then eat whatever
And it was
fried stuff.
UFT.
Yeah.
So like there'd be a speaker playing like
Yes.
you'd be wearing your jammers, chugging Coke.
All right. On to Facebook. So around this time, there was another Harvard student named Divya Narendra, and he had an idea. What if we combine all these Harvard Facebooks, like these online photo directories, put them together and create areas for like social interactions and dating, like a really detailed, kind of complicated, basic social media site just for Harvard. He called it Harvard Connection. And he got these 2 identical twins to help him with the idea. Remember them, the Winklevoss twins?
Yeah.
Yes, it's funny because I always jokingly call a penis a Winklevoss.
I can't remember.
It's a funny
they're
last
kind of
name.
done with this story, but they created some other site, or they had some success in some other way, even though they got cut out here. But they were going to be the money men for Harvard Connection.
Right.
Now, all Divya needed was a computer guy to put the code together for this Harvard Connection. He knew about Mark Zuckerberg because of the whole face mash fiasco. So he says,
Face mash is not a smooth name to say.
it's really hard.
Face
Every
mash.
time it comes up,
face mash.
it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
So
The Winklevoss boys.
the Winklevoss boys. So they reach out to Mark and say, hey, could you code our new Harvard Connection site? And Mark's like, yeah, I could do it. Sure. It'll take me like 10 hours to do the coding for this site. But guess what? Mark didn't really do it. He just kind of dragged these guys along and kept being like, yeah, I'll be done soon. But really, and I guess this is somewhat up for debate, he was basically working on a very, very, very similar idea, which was Facebook. So you could argue he kind of stole this idea and was like, well, why should I code for them? I could just make my own site with the same idea.
Mm-hmm.
It was basically, so like Facebook was like a simpler, more streamlined version of Harvard Connection. And it was based on the psychological insights he got from his prank, where people are voyeuristic and want to like look at people's pictures and stuff like that.
Good God.
MySpace had already been a thing at this point.
Yeah.
MySpace was like the premier social network, or like Friendster maybe was around, or was that after?
Oh,
But
yeah.
MySpace at least.
MySpace, I don't have internet on my computer, but we could look up when that was going. I know, maybe it was later. I don't know.
'Cause it was definitely before Facebook, MySpace, I think.
I think so. I'm trying to remember when I got MySpace. I think it was maybe 05 or 06, but I might have been late.
MySpace founded on August 1st, 2003.
Okay, so
No
about the same
way.
time. Thank you, Michael.
I can't believe it.
So
I did not get MySpace at that time.
So it was probably not really relevant at this point because this is 2004.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so Mark registers a news site, thefacebook.com. He approaches his friend, Eduardo Saverin, to fund the project. And Eduardo says, sure, it's $1,000, not that much. And supposedly Mark convinced Eduardo to invest by saying they could use the new site to get laid. Kind of a bro, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Mark.
So
Can't believe my girlfriend's related to him.
I know, Mike, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So
You're in
Mark
there.
goes back to Divya Narenda, the Harvard Connection guy, and says, sorry, you got to find a new programmer. I'm not going to do this. And Divya's like, no, please stay. But Mark's like, no. So Mark launches the Facebook at Harvard. Obviously, huge hit right off the top. 4,000 people sign up in the first 2 weeks. And then it kind of grows and becomes accessible at other Ivy League colleges and universities outside of Harvard. And within a few months, 200,000 people were on board. This was a crazy success, especially in 2004 when people were a lot less online. This was like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
So Facebook is booming. Mark's like, I'm going to drop out of Harvard and move to California. He opened a Facebook headquarters in a house. It's pretty small scale. A lot of guys drinking beer, goofing around. Kind
That's
of like
fun.
us with the podcast and Michael.
Yes.
We have so much beer and pizza here.
Yeah. And we're coding all night, just like
Yeah.
Mark and the other guys.
We pull an all-nighter making one podcast.
Mark at this house when Facebook was getting going would carry around a fencing foil.
Oh,
I could see Mike and I getting in some
cool.
fencing.
Yeah.
On guard.
Yeah, touche. Anyway, isn't that what the
Yeah.
So
Do you guys admire the Three Musketeers
Yes.
and D'Artagnan?
Yeah.
yeah, I do.
They honestly, they've always inspired everything I do.
I knew it.
Yeah, you gotta feel bad for their fourth friend though, because they're the Three Musketeers. They got a fourth guy, probably a buddy. He's like,
Wait for me, guys.
yes,
Yeah.
I'm not included.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not as good as you? I don't think so.
Oh, what? You guys don't like me?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to join Cardinal Richelieu's army.
So something was needed to take Facebook from this point to the big time.
I'm excited.
Justin Timberlake.
Exactly.
I genuinely don't know what's about to happen.
It's pretty interesting. So yeah, Mark hooks up, not sexually.
Oh, but he's been trying
Platonically
for
hooks
so
up.
long.
Yeah, no, he doesn't have sex with the Napster co-founder.
Sounds like he doesn't have sex with anybody.
I think he does with his wife, but it doesn't sound like he does with very many other people. At
Okay.
least based on my notes.
Okay. Sorry.
But yeah, Sean Parker, the co-creator of Napster, and him
Mm-hmm.
meet up. They kind of lived close together, and they start talking. I mean,
That's cool.
Sean Parker would be a good topic because Napster was crazy. I remember the idea that you could get music for free. I know you're stealing it, but was insane to me. Like
Yeah.
insane.
Mhm.
Instead of spending $20 or whatever on a CD, oh my god, it was
Yeah.
crazy.
Napster was good. Sometimes those files were different quality, but
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
some crud.
And we had dial-up internet, so a song would take half an hour.
Yeah.
Oh god, nightmare. Anyway, so Sean Parker, the Napster guy, he becomes Facebook's connection to Silicon Valley and its money. And in August, he helped arrange a $500,000 investment from Peter Thiel, another good guy we should do. So now suddenly, shit's getting real for Facebook. Remember that original investor, Saverin, the guy who was like, oh, I'll invest and I can get lead, right?
$1,000.
Yeah, he ended up putting in like 20,000. So he was like a major investor, but Zuckerberg did some legal stuff to basically cut him out and screw him over, and lessened his ownership of Facebook from like 34% to 0.03%.
Why?
Mark.
No,
Seems
but
like
tell
just
me
pretty-
why.
See-
Why did he do that to this nice man who gave him
Power,
money?
power.
These power-hungry guys.
Yeah,
They don't have friends.
I mean, 33% of Facebook, you would be pretty rich.
You know what people don't know about evil men podcasters,
Hmm?
we value friendship.
Yeah, people don't know that, but we do.
We deplore money.
Well,
What?
No,
That's not
Throw
what
it
I'm
away.
saying.
No, I'm expanding on what you said.
Okay.
Friendship is more valuable
Yes.
than money.
True.
Money
True.
has no value. We don't want it. Throw it away. We
well,
get it out of our sight.
If you lend me
Stinky.
$20,000,
Mhm.
I will be your friend.
oh, me too.
Mm.
Are
I
you
have
kidding?
loyalty to a fault.
Yeah.
Some of my closest friends let me down every day.
And stay tuned to the bonus episode where you'll reveal which
I will
friends
reveal all
are.
of them.
Top-
All of them.
Top 10 letdown friends.
Hundreds of names on
Yeah.
a list.
Michael, do you think it's okay if we run about 10 to 15 minutes over? Or should we be tight? Just because I'll be a little quicker if... Okay, I'll try to be quick. Just checking in here. It's different now that we're in a studio with... You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
cool. Okay, so... Now it's 2004 and Facebook has like 1 million users. Sean Parker, the Napster guy, he
Mm-hmm.
helped convince them to change the name to just Facebook from the Facebook.
Better.
And he got another investor. Someone invested $12 million under the condition it would be open to all colleges and high schools and not just Ivy League schools. So
Right.
I think this was when I joined because I joined with my University of Toronto email, which I never used. And that's still my login.
Mm-hmm.
DM me if you want the password, I guess.
Yeah, I remember my sister was at Carleton, I believe, or U of Ottawa, one of those, and she had Facebook before it became widespread.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I think my first like social medias, I guess messengers weren't social media. Like I had ICQ in high school and then MSN Messenger and then Facebook. I think that was my
Mhm.
first few things. Anyway, so Facebook is blowing up, but those Winklevoss twins,
Mhm.
I think were like studs.
Yeah.
Kind of annoying. Rich studs. So we were twins. Like, get out of here. Anyway, they launch a lawsuit against Zuckerberg. And because, you're making Facebook and it's blowing up. And we had this Harvard connection idea that was just as good. And so during this legal stuff, a lot of shit comes out about Zuckerberg that wouldn't have otherwise. And this was really the first time that people are like, oh, we sort of thought he was this tech punk visionary guy. Does he actually just suck?
Mhm.
Because the press learned that Zuckerberg had offered users private Facebook data to his friends. And they learned about how he strung his friend along while stealing his idea for Facebook, and how Zuckerberg even took passwords from Harvard student journalists to hack their email if they happened to be sympathetic to the other guy, Narendra, who came up with Harvard Connection.
Yo, that's
So he's-
Watergate level shit.
Right off the bat, he's just, I'll just go through people's private data, whatever. Like right
Spy.
off the hop.
Spy network is
Yeah.
what he created
Yeah,
for himself.
exactly. But Zuckerberg was sort of lucky. At this time, data privacy wasn't really a thing people cared about yet.
Mhm.
So he ended up settling with Narendra, the Harvard Connection guy, for $65 million.
Mm.
Whoa.
Weird for Narendra because he's probably like, oh man, I could have had billions, like 150 billion.
Mhm.
But you still got 65 million.
And that's the 20,000 guy?
No, this was the guy that created Harvard Connection.
I thought that was the Winklevoss.
The Harvard Connection guy and the Winklevoss twins together made.
Mhm. Okay, thank you.
So now it's
What'd the Winklevoss guys get?
I don't know.
Hmm.
And that stupid guy who complained about me on a Patreon exit thing said, "You never know the answers to the questions they ask." But at the same time, how would I know that?
Can I tell you
Do you know how
something?
much research there is here?
Do
I
not-
don't know every
Do
question.
not let that guy get
You're
in
right,
your head.
and that's the only reason I was a bit sharp with you because I'm thinking in my head, "Oh, that guy's gonna go. Oh, you don't know the answer to all the questions." Well, no kidding.
Yeah.
He won't
well,
be
I
listening.
totally,
He
Yeah,
won't be listening.
You know
though.
what? I hope he doesn't.
understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, but
And don't let him get in your head. Don't let him live in your head rent free.
you're right. You're right.
Fuck that bitch.
Okay. It's 2008. I believe it was probably my second year being involved in Laugh Sabbath. So a little bit different. But for Mark Zuckerberg in 2008, he was 23 and a billionaire.
Must be nice.
The
great.
youngest billionaire in history.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
And now I feel like we can see clearly the steps that it takes for one solo person to become a billionaire. You have to step on all of your helpful friends' faces.
Yeah. Basically.
Very nice.
In 2012, he married his girlfriend from Harvard, Priscilla Chan. I guess, some positive stuff. He got into philanthropy, him and his wife. Him and his wife made a pledge that they would donate 99% of their wealth to charity. But the charity is the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. And it is to advance causes like education, health, and equality. Some people think, oh, good for them. But others are skeptical because it's like it's their fund or whatever. So they can decide where it goes
rich
to.
people always create charities to get massive tax rebates.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Like that's the scam with charities.
Yep. They have donated billions to like health research, tech training in Africa, the Newark school system,
Well, then
all this
that's
stuff.
nice.
So
I
they've
don't
done some
know.
good stuff.
Damn, that's very nice. Nicer than what I ever done.
Me too. Honestly, me too.
I'm just trying.
My
to...
sister will text me like, "Oh, can you chip in for an aunt's birthday gift?" And I'm like, "Oh," and that's like
I was just thinking,
$25.
it's like I'm always going back and forth to Freshco to just get Cheerios for my kids. I'm not building schools in Africa or anything.
I've noticed that. I didn't want to say anything, but you're never really building schools in Africa. No critique there. I just noticed that.
It is true. It's funny to be like a guy that can just sit on his ass and criticize all these philanthropists all day and all night. I do realize the hypocrisy in my attitude.
Oh, me too. In 2012, he bought Instagram for $1 billion. Probably worth a lot more than that now.
Mm-hmm.
And in
Just for my content alone.
Oh, hell yeah.
That picture of you as a kid.
Oh my God. I hope you posted on Maine. Like
I didn't.
Damn. Oh, that's good. In 2014, he bought WhatsApp for $19 billion.
What?
And he basically bought those out because they were competition.
There was a news story I heard this morning that there's a case right now that he's being accused of having it's like unfair competition, like having a monopoly, and if he loses this case, they're going to make him break up Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram and sell them off. Instagram and WhatsApp as their own companies.
I would love a genuinely benevolent owner of Instagram.
I know, because Instagram
That would make me feel
feels
better.
At least to me, it feels the least bad of all of them in some way.
Yeah,
But
and
it
it's a
sucks that
business
it's
tool,
Zuckerberg. Yeah.
but you are vulnerable on it still, private,
I guess a lot of people clearly still use Facebook, but I wonder if he hadn't bought Instagram, would it be kind of a joke now? Like, I guess older people still use Facebook, or
Well, other apps
Maybe young
really
people do
try
too. I
to
don't
imitate
know.
Instagram.
yeah.
And Instagram stories took that from TikTok. Like they really do take everything and make it one platform that you have to be on.
Yeah. And it sucks when you're a comedian because it's hard to not be on social media, even though I do hate it.
Yeah. I
so-
would love to live in the woods with just like a shotgun and some sort of
Fleshlight.
flashlight on the end of the shotgun. And then I get them mixed up.
A burglar breaks in and you use the
I
fleshlight.
fuck it while shooting him in the face. Anyone listening, do not steal our idea. We just created the best fuck guns ever. Like you come while the gun blasts the burglar's face off.
Yeah.
I'll just mention one last
Zuckerberg's gonna steal that one.
one last thing. Do you remember the idea of free basics? I had never heard of this.
Free basics.
So
No.
in 2014, Zuckerberg traveled to rural India and he pitched this idea that connectivity was a basic human right And he pitched a free version of the internet that gives access to everyone in the world to the internet, except you only have access to 36 sites, including Facebook.
Right.
And this was called Free Basics. And he presented it like, oh, I'm so altruistic. you know?
Facebook is a basic human right.
Yeah.
And I just happen to be the guy who runs Facebook.
Yeah. But the Indian media
My
was...
comedy is a basic human right.
yeah, chrislock.com is one of the 36 sites. But the Indian media was like, this is a violation of net neutrality and also kind of a digital media colonialism. You're going to give poor people the internet, but tell them what they can look at.
Right.
And net neutrality, if you're not aware, is the idea that internet service providers should allow you to access all content regardless of the source without favoring or blocking certain websites.
You remember when you would Google something or Mozilla something or Safari something,
Yeah.
and the first few pages that would come up would be like somebody's weird independent essay or something, or someone's
Yeah.
blog. It's like, what in the fuck
It's true.
happened to that wild information access? Like, I hate that. Like 70 pages on Google, the first 70 pages are like ads on how to buy the thing you just searched.
Yeah, you're right.
Like,
Everyone
I don't want to
says
fucking
Google's
buy
getting
it. I want to
worse.
read a story, or I want to like get an article or an essay about the subject matter. But they're like, you could look up, for example, like Franz Kafka or whatever, and then the next 15 pages of Google are like Franz Kafka t-shirts. Franz Kafka
With Che Guevara's head on it.
Yeah, Franz Kafka and Che Guevara graphic novel where they fight each other. It's like, no, you fucking dick. Like, you can't get information anymore. It's all a shopping mall.
It's weird to be nostalgic of the internet from 20 years ago, but it really was better, I guess, than now in some way. Anyway, so Mark could have listened to these concerns about free basics, but he didn't. And instead, he kind of went really hard. The Guardian reported that Facebook started automatically enrolling new users into anti-net neutrality petitions and even signing up people to those petitions who were dead.
Wow, it's like he wanted something and there's nothing that could stop him from getting it.
Yeah, and this all turned India against Facebook's and the idea of free basics. And so the idea is now basically dead.
Free basically dead.
Free basically dead.
Should we do a recap like an HBO show?
Oh, yeah, good call.
Previously on Mark Zuckerberg.
Okay, really quick recap. His mom's last name is the same last name as Mike's girlfriend. He went to Harvard, got rejected by a girl, made a Hot or Not site. Somebody else was like, I have an idea for a thing kind of like Facebook. And Mark went, okay, I'm just going to create Facebook and steal the idea. And then it blows up. He hooks up with the Napster guy, not sexually. And he's a billionaire at 23. And he has to pay off some people he screwed over along the way. That's pretty much it.
And now back to Mark Zuckerberg.
Okay, here we go. So, yeah, we covered Mark's rise. But there's some little cracks in the armor. This whole free basics, net neutrality thing he doesn't come off looking great at. He's already stealing people's data. Doesn't really seem to have a problem with that.
Right away, he's stealing people's data.
Mhm.
It's like, it's so funny how like all the evil billionaires of the planet start heinous, never get stopped, and then get heinouser and heinouser.
Yeah.
That's the history of our times right now.
Yeah.
Unchecked evil. Sorry, continue.
Well, now we're about to get to a topic called fake news. What's your guys' best Trump saying fake news?
Are you asking us to do our impressions?
Yeah.
Oh, I love as a comedian doing my Trump and working on my Trump.
Yeah.
Fake news.
Okay.
He's such a he's so fun to play.
Yeah.
I
Chris?
love my Trump. How's your Trump, Chris?
I'm not gonna read fake news.
I love your Trump. He looks so fun to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wig is back.
Mm-hmm.
The makeup's back. The
Hey.
suit is back. The red tie is back.
Hey, when he won his second term, bad news for the world, but great news for us comedians.
We don't read fake news. We're not gonna read the fake news.
Melania, have you seen my fake news?
Melania is my wife. I love. Not gonna go.
Yours sounds like a motorcycle.
To be honest,
fake news.
yeah, we're not gonna let Melania ride my motorcycle.
Well, yes, the topic of fake news. So we're leading up to the 2016 election. And
Hillary's got it in the bag.
people really
Yes.
thought that. It was
Mhm.
Hillary on one side and Donald Trump on the other. A guy nobody thought would even win the Republican primary. But
It was
he
like
did.
when Kirk had to fight Spock
Oh, right.
in the ring of what's it called?
Star Trek.
I'm sorry,
Michael
Michael
Mongiardi's
Mongiardi.
gonna-
I
he's
just
gonna look
assumed
that
you
up.
were a nerd who knew. I could say it right away.
You just put him on the spot. Oh.
Michael Mongiardi. How do you not know?
Would Kirk be Hillary in this and Spock is Trump, or the opposite?
No, Kirk is Trump.
Kirk
Big
is
time.
Trump. Hillary, with her great big pointy ears, is Spock.
Spock was the wife of a earlier captain of a ship, Christopher Pike.
Paikau.
Okay, so I got an answer.
I think it's called the arena.
You might be right. What I found here is that Kirk and Spock fought on the planet Vulcan.
Spock's home turf.
The fight was a ritualistic battle to the death, a consequence of choice. So, does that help?
Well,
Not really.
yeah.
A little bit.
Reminds me of
Yeah,
the
a little
2016
bit.
election.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we're back.
And we're back. So it's leading up to
Well,
the
Hillary was always like, "That's not logical, Trump."
right, and he's always like, he's going with his gut,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Imagine Michael Myers, the murderer from Halloween movies, wore a Trump mask instead of a Captain Kirk mask.
That is too scary to think about, though.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
There's too many ideas we're throwing out on the Zuckerberg episodes that can be stolen for good.
Yeah, and we know that data clearly can be stolen.
Data.
Good call, James. And
So-
I'm not going to interrupt you for a while now. I'm going to take a break. So come
Yeah,
on,
take a break.
continue.
Enjoy your coffee. Take a break. Daydream if you want.
I'm going to have a Kit Kat and some coffee.
Cool. Well, listeners, it's just Michael and I now for a little bit. So we're leading up to the 2016 election, and a BuzzFeed editor named Craig Silverman noticed a string of stories appearing on Facebook that emerged from one town in Macedonia. They were blowing up, and they all involved Donald Trump. And then other stories about Trump and pro-Trump kind of stuff starts blowing up from Russia on Facebook. And people start going, I feel like Russians are using Facebook to spread propaganda. 2 days after Trump won, Zuckerberg made a speech calling those worried about fake news on his website crazy. He said, you're crazy if you're worried about that. But Facebook's own analysis a year later revealed that Russian-backed propaganda groups reached 126 million Americans during the election. That is about a third of the country. Zuckerberg just issued denials and denials. But in 2017, the CIA revealed that Russia did interfere in the election and that Facebook played a major role.
By the way, where is Robert Mueller?
Oh, yeah, I don't even remember what the hell that was about.
The dude was like the Elliot Ness of the late 2010s.
Yeah.
Now he's gone.
Yeah.
He like proved his case. No one cared. And then he just went to a cottage or something.
I think he went to a cottage. Yeah, where they call it a cabin in the States.
He went to a cabin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like where Abe Lincoln was born.
Right. So Zuckerberg claimed there is no evidence of Russian propaganda groups purchasing ads.
no evidence.
But later, it was revealed, yes, they did. And Zuckerberg made a video asking for forgiveness.
But I thought everyone was
Right.
crazy.
Well, a classic gaslighter.
Right.
to say, you're crazy. I didn't cheat on you, babe.
So
You're crazy.
yeah.
I didn't go to
You always
Shelley's.
say, "Why are you cheating on me?" You always do that.
You're crazy.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing, James. Up until this point of the story, okay, very fascinating, extremely detailed. What I'm wondering, when does Mark's character arc shift, and then he starts learning how to be a good person?
I think that ship has sailed.
Wait.
What? That's not good writing.
If you wrote a movie about this guy's life, they'd say that couldn't actually happen. You know what I mean?
I
They'd be
know.
like, "No way!"
You couldn't even. They wouldn't believe you.
They wouldn't believe you,
if
and
you
then
pitched it.
they'd kick you out of Hollywood,
Mm-hmm.
put you in jail.
Yeah. Come
Deport
back
you.
when you've written Severance,
Do you think the social
which we can believe.
Do you think the Social Network was good? Because I love David Fincher, but I find Aaron Sorkin kind of corny. I think it is
I'm
good.
with you on that.
And you got Trent Reznor as well,
Oh.
DJing the movie.
Love
Give me
Trent.
Finch, keep the Sork.
Yes.
Give me Finch, give me
Fincher
Sork.
rocks. You know what?
And he also got, did you say Trent Reznor did the soundtrack?
Trent Reznor
Yeah.
DJ'd the movie.
Yeah. All the social networks come.
I want to code you like a website.
I want to code you like a website.
You make me log into you. You make me write a post. You make me send a DM.
Help me. I'm trying to code your insides. Help me dox this girl that I dumped.
Oh my God.
When would Zucko have started sporting his Caesar haircut? I wonder.
Well, we're gonna get to that.
Okay,
It's not
okay.
yet. It's
All right.
not yet. But I
Awesome.
absolutely think that's worth addressing.
Julius
His
Caesar was
rebrand.
the strongest
Coder.
emperor,
Wait,
coder
I'm
of
sorry,
ancient Rome.
Because I'm thinking of his new haircut. You're talking about the previous one where,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Oh, that I don't
That's
know.
the
I think he
Caesar.
already had that. Like when it seemed like when he was really young, he had that kind of bushy hair. But then like Silicon Valley Zuck had the kind of black T-shirt, black pants, Caesar cut.
haircut because he
Yeah,
was
that era he had the Caesar cut after Julius Caesar or Caesar Augustus.
because he was just like him.
But now he has the Caesar salad, right? Because it looks
Yes.
like a bunch of chopped romaine up there.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
a few bacon bits too. Dandruff.
Hey.
Crumbled croutons.
Anyway, remember Cambridge Analytica?
Oh God, do we have to?
Oh my god,
Yeah.
I
Still have nightmares.
PTSD.
Yeah.
From
sounds
just
boring.
reading the news.
I remember just hearing like big Cambridge Analytica scandal. Never wanted to read about it. It's like this is boring, but it's pretty relevant. So things are Facebook's kind of looking bad now. It's seen as a place of disinformation, and it probably helped elect Donald Trump, which a lot of people don't love. But in 2018, an even bigger scandal came out. The Guardian and the New York Times revealed a story that a firm named Cambridge Analytica used third-party apps to harvest data from millions of Facebook users, and that data had been used to influence voters all over the world. Reports revealed that the political consulting firm, Cambridge Analytica, improperly harvested data from up to 87 million Facebook users and used that to influence the 2016 US election and also the Brexit referendum.
And would it put pro-Trump or pro-Brexit posts in their feed? Basically, is that how it kind of works?
I think so. Like,
Right.
But
Or
it
like
also
fake-
created like those billions of fake like genuinely fake news websites with just like rage,
literally fake
baiting
stories. Right.
captions about
Yeah.
whatever you hated would show up in your feed to make you irate.
Right.
So,
And they weren't no connection to the Cambridge footlights.
No, and we have had so many legends of comedy work their way up through that institution. You know,
I know.
Cleese.
Cleese.
So Zuckerberg, he faced global backlash from this. This is pretty bad.
Boo, you stink, Mark.
Yeah. He issued apologies. He testified before Congress. He admitted to a breach of trust.
Oh,
But he faced criticism for delayed transparency because he's admitting this in 2018. Facebook knew of this issue in 2015, but didn't notify users or do anything.
this is also around the time he put cream on his face and went surfboarding in a wetsuit.
Yeah, we'll get to it, but he is also just fucking weird as hell.
Yeah.
People,
Yo,
lots of
no
people are weird.
shame.
We're all weird. I don't
Yeah.
want to judge people, but
Let your
you
freak
know,
flag fly.
Yeah.
What's your favorite fly?
So they knew that your data was being harvested. They knew that. And this led to a $5 billion fine from the Federal Trade Commission,
Good
which is a
God.
lot, but what is it to him?
Yo, that's a lot.
I'm a bit short at the moment.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
The Attorney General sued Zuckerberg personally, but alleging he misled users about privacy. The lawsuit claimed that Zuckerberg's direct oversight enabled data misuse, but it was later dismissed.
So he's an enabler.
Yeah. And the hits keep coming. Later in
So does this mean that he's lining his pockets with illicit funds as well?
I
Like
mean,
people with nefarious goals?
I don't know. Like, I guess if they're buying ads, but I feel like that's not the source.
But if you
of-
make a deal with Cambridge Analytica, did he make the deal? But why is he acting unaware?
Well, I think he doesn't see a problem with violating your private data.
When
And
he
if-
started in Harvard, that's what he did. He gave the private data to his pals of these
Yes.
girls.
Mhm.
So,
yeah, and he still does it. He doesn't.
like,
he never saw
that
it as
was
bad.
literally the beginning of the product.
So he just
Yes.
doesn't know,
Was stealing data.
he just does it on a huger, like a way bigger scale. Then?
So now we're on
Yeah.
this global scale where he's shifting the opinion of masses of people, changing the trajectory of fucking history of the planet
Mhm.
as the angry guy in his dorm room. Like the
Mhm.
same marketing scheme, the
Yeah.
same business plan. I mean,
Yeah, and we'll talk about his politics, but I don't think I personally don't even think he has real politics. I think he
Yeah.
just shifts to whatever suits him, and it's all phony.
it's
I
all
think.
money. Okay.
So more bad stuff keeps happening. 2018, a massive data breach exposes 30 million users' information. Reports surfaced that the company hired a PR firm to deflect criticism by targeting figures like George Soros. And these incidents eroded public trust, with Facebook's stock plummeting and calls for regulation intensifying.
Now Soros is the guy who funds a whole army of people to not agree with Elon Musk.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yes.
That's a lot of money being doled out.
He pays well. Gotta say.
Yeah, he's paying us. I would love it if George Soros paid us.
To
Like,
be like,
I'm not above that. Anyone, just pay us and we'll say
I'm not
some
above anything.
lies.
You want us to harvest people's private
Sure.
information?
Well, private
Yeah,
harvest our
organs?
data. I don't know.
Yeah, fuck. Give us something.
In 2019,
Sonar, they're not fucking paying us shit. Look at this quality content we give them.
well, we're using Sleepless Studios here. Fantastic space.
Owned by George Soros.
Yes.
I'm just kidding, Michael. Everybody knows Michael Mongiardi is right here in the room with us. It's a classic comedian thing to roast a pal.
Right.
I'm doing my best over here.
They do.
Zuckerberg faced renewed criticism over Facebook's handling of misinformation in the 2020 U.S. election cycle. The platform was accused of amplifying divisive content, including false COVID-19 claims and election-related conspiracies. We all know that thing where people are like, my aunt saw on Facebook that, blah, blah, blah.
My aunt has lost her mind.
Yes, she's on Facebook all day. So internal leaks revealed that Zuckerberg resisted aggressive moderation, citing free speech, even as studies linked Facebook to real-world violence, such as anti-Muslim rhetoric in Myanmar. The United Nations had previously called the platform's role in Myanmar's crisis, quote, a textbook example of ethnic cleansing. In 2019, the data sharing controversy further damaged Zuckerberg's reputation when the New York Times reported that Facebook granted tech giants like Netflix access to users' private messages, which contradicted privacy commitments. So time and time again, from day one, he will invade your privacy, steal your data, and just lie about it. From day one.
Yeah, so there
And
you go.
continues.
Like that's what's blowing my mind is like I didn't really know this and I've never seen The Social Network. So I'm very late to the game, so excuse my ignorance. But that was the beginning impetus of the whole business was stealing private information.
No, and a
from
lot
people.
of these stories like you'd see in the news, but you'd be like, it's a bit boring. And I think we're all desensitized to the idea of our data being stolen. Like,
Yeah.
I think we're all just like, I guess it just happens.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know the
That's
consequences
what I mean.
of
Like
this.
we keep getting desensitized because the heinousness doesn't get punished once, and then it keeps getting heinouser and heinouser.
Exactly.
And we grumble and keep buying peanut butter filled O'Henrys. But here's the thing
Well.
that I wanted to say. Another thing is like, you know, the French Revolution was really like, you know, and many other instances like this throughout history. It's like who was the quickest on the draw with the pamphlets, and who was out handing out the pamphlets on the hour, every hour to the people to get them ironed up. And with Zuckerberg and Musk, it's like global pamphlet disseminating of like misinformation 24/7, like what you're saying. So it's like the Myanmar thing is just like, it's like this cybertronic boom lightning speed pamphlet machine to just rally everybody. Like it's so fucking psychotic.
Also, when Facebook, this has happened a bunch. They go into a country where they maybe don't understand the realities on the ground between, like, if it's like a country with a civil war or warring tribes or whatever. People can post stuff, and that can result in like a massacre of a town, or like, hey, we're all gathering in front of this mosque or whatever or this temple to burn it down. And that can happen, whereas in North America, that was never going to be a problem in the way it would be in like Myanmar or something like that. And it's just like total ignorance. Like if your product can be used that way and you're not aware of that possibility.
And I don't think
But it
in a lot
has genuinely split in North America the human race
For
into
sure.
two breeds of
Yeah.
human
and
that
I don't think
can't even meet each other anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think he even in a
fucked
lot
up.
of these has an agenda per se, but I think they know that divisive content makes you look at Twitter or Facebook, and so they want that because then you'll look at Facebook more and you'll share it and email be like, can you believe that whatever 5G does this or whatever? You know, they just
Well,
want
it is
that.
funny to think that like your algorithm in certain areas is programmed to feed you the thing that buzzes you into being irate, not like awesome. It's like half like your algorithm is half like, can you believe this person did this, and half He-Man t-shirt. You know what I mean? It's like this weird like manipulation tactic where it's like keeping you so overwhelmed and stressed and angry that all you have left to do with yourself to alleviate is to spend money on a He-Man hat.
But honestly, He-Man means a lot to me because it was there when I was a kid. you know?
Yeah.
No, He-Man, the toys, they really mean a lot to me.
But you know what? Skeletor's not his fucking uncle.
Well, maybe I'll
Did we talk about this in the first episode? It's like, this is like, I love it. He-Man comes up every episode now. Okay.
Maybe I'll talk about the Facebook papers now. Had you ever heard of the Facebook papers?
Heard of the Pickwick Papers, but that's
Oh, Mike,
Charles
what?
Yeah.
Oh, you
Charles
mumbled.
Dickens, another
Dickens.
misinformation disseminator.
Yes.
But
Well-
his word, we knew it was fiction.
Well, the Facebook papers were leaked in 2021 by a whistleblower named Francis Haugen. And it exposed that internal research showed that Instagram worsened mental health and body image issues for teen girls. Zuckerberg had reviewed data in 2020 indicating harm to 1 in 3 teen users, but downplayed these concerns publicly, claiming in 2020 in a 2021 congressional testimony that Instagram offered positive mental health benefits. And critics accused him of prioritizing profits over safety, especially as Meta was exploring a kids version of Instagram. These leaks also revealed that algorithmic changes Zuckerberg championed in 2018 to boost meaningful social interactions inadvertently amplified divisive content, deepening societal polarization, exactly what you were saying, Chris. Zuckerberg disputed this narrative, but announced limited reforms like hiding like counts on Instagram posts, which researchers deemed superficial. So essentially, they know this is bad for all our brains and our children's brains, but they don't care. And they
It's like
like
those-
that it's addictive.
Those articles that came out at that time too, where Silicon Valley original creators that work there
Kids?
are like, yeah, we don't
That's
let
exactly
our kids use
my
any
next
of this.
point.
Oh, sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I had the exact same train of thought as you, and I looked that up. And yeah, there was a former CEO of Facebook named Chamath Palihapitiya, and he said he doesn't allow his children to use social media, and he believes it's destroying how society works, and he feels tremendous guilt for
Is
his
that the
role
guy
in Facebook.
whose biz it is now to actually tour around and give seminars on the dangers of social media?
I wonder.
Some of them
Maybe.
do, yeah, someone was doing that because they like escaped Silicon Valley and they were like, now their career is a traveling platform of like warning, basically.
In 2024, Zuckerberg faced a heated Senate hearing on child safety, and he apologized to families whose children suffered harm from social media, including exposure to predators and eating disorder content. Critics accused him of having blood on his hands for inadequate protections. Meta's subsequent moves to restrict harmful content for under 18 kids were seen as reactive rather than proactive. We could talk a little bit about the change to Meta. You brought that up, Mike.
Meta, yes.
Remember that video where he's like introducing Meta, and that was in October 21. He announced that the company was going to rebrand from Facebook to Meta. There would be a metaverse, which was an immersive 3D virtual environment where users could interact, work, and play with virtual reality. To me, it just seemed like Second Life, which was very like 2005. You know, where you live
Yeah.
as an avatar and you walk in this little town.
And then people like fell in love and then went and met the real version of them and were like, oh, shit.
Oh, fuck.
We both suck.
Did Meta require you to have special Facebook like VR goggles to?
I think that
To
was
do
the idea.
Yeah.
And it
At
was
first.
a flop,
And-
right?
well,
It's like
yeah,
you can be a
basically.
walrus hanging around.
And you could do like a comedy show in the metaverse.
Right.
Yeah.
You could be a walrus angrily yelling about politics.
Take it to the metaverse.
The initial reaction to
There's
Meta,
a revolution happening on the metaverse.
the initial reaction
That's
to Meta
so
was
funny.
kind of good, I guess. Like their stock rose after the announcement, but it was not a success overall. By 2022, its company Reality Labs lost $13 billion. And by 2025, while Meta is continuing to invest over $50 billion, the metaverse remains very niche. Zuckerberg has scaled back public emphasis, focusing on AI.
He
and
made that
mixed
great
reality.
commercial, remember?
Yeah, I do.
Look it up, listeners. You know it. It was a hit.
Critics argue that Meta's control-raised dystopian echoes the book's Snow Crash's corporate-dominated virtual world. It feels like the metaverse could have been okay if it was still COVID. Like it feels like a COVID creation. You could play poker with your friends in LA in a VR helmet. I probably would have done that in 2021 when I
Yeah.
couldn't leave the house or see a friend, but
Yeah.
don't really want to do it now.
No, I'm busy.
I'm busy too. Also,
We're enjoying spring.
we're enjoying spring.
Flowers and so on.
Mm.
When's that coffee gonna kick in, Mike? Also, I'm not really a tech cynic per se, but I sort of feel that about everything anyway. But I feel like maybe VR helmets aren't going to happen at this point. You know, they've been talking about it since I was a kid. I think people don't want to have a big helmet on their head to look at their email.
I don't know. I think next year it might finally happen. It's a good look. It's comfortable and it's not dangerous at all.
Because like you can't even wear it for more than an hour, or your neck hurts or your eyes hurt.
James, I do find this interesting about you because out of the three of us, no, it's interesting to get your opinion. Out of the three of us, you're the most tech and forward-thinking person. You're excited about it. You keep abreast of it often. What is your feelings about the conflict with the people behind it versus the actual advancements? Because it does turn out to be like this a lot.
No, it's 100% true. I guess it's not that I'm like...
Is it history is written by the victor? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, how could you not go through all this stuff the last 10, 15 years and not be totally soured on everything Silicon Valley? You know, at the same time, I try not to go into everything immediately cynical. Sometimes things can be good. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. How can you not be soured? But I don't know. I still use an iPhone and a computer and all that stuff. I don't know.
Are the poor plebes going to be driven to madness where they inflict violence upon themselves, and then the billionaires who have created these technology, whatever, boons to society, just going to capitalize off of their use, and whoever survives.
I know
and move forward.
It's like there are certain advancements that could be used to really benefit humankind, but it feels like the Silicon Valley ethos is about just fewer people have jobs and these few people make billions of dollars, and half of the stuff isn't, degrades in quality over time. It's kind of complicated. But it's like, even with shitty AI, I mean, I'm sure there's scenarios where going forward it could be used in a very helpful way, but you just feel skepticism that it won't just be used in a way that people will lose their jobs and these few rich people get even richer. But you know what I mean? There's ways these things could be helpful, but feels like they're in the wrong hands.
When do they get their lesson about ethics?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Just a couple more things here. I was sort of curious about his politics, and his early politics read as progressive. He supported social justice and education, got praise from Obama.
But then he dropped that right before.
Yeah. In 2017, even he criticized Trump and his immigration policies. In 2020, Meta started moderating COVID-19 misinformation and temporarily suspended Trump's account post January 6th. There were claims of anti-Republican bias. Zuckerberg, he said he was just trying to stay neutral. He made a fact-checking program that conservatives labeled biased. And this kind of marked a turning point maybe for Zuckerberg politically, where he said he felt bewilderment at how polarized politics were, and he started getting disenfranchised and basically like, everyone's mad at me now. And I think post 2020, he started distancing Meta from progressive politics, and started being more free speechy, kind of aligning, in theory with conservatives. And his personal interests also shifted. This is so weird to me. He had that kind of tech guy nerd thing, and then he starts embracing MMA and tries to have this like a bit more of a rugged persona. Maybe you could link it with sort of conservatism to some degree. Dana White is now on the board of Facebook. Like, I don't know if you saw, I watched clips of Zuckerberg on Joe Rogan, and it's pathetic to me because it feels like a guy trying so hard to craft this new image. And, Joe Rogan's all about like bow hunting or something. And there's a clip where Mark Zuckerberg's like, oh yeah, I mean, you really gotta bow hunt. That's just the only way to do it. And even stupid Joe Rogan was like, oh yeah, what bow do you use? And Mark Zuckerberg's like, oh God, what bow do I use? I think someone just, lent me a bow, so I don't remember. And like even
a man hands me a bow.
yeah. And even Joe Rogan, I feel like was almost like, you don't actually give a fuck about bow hunting. But
Yeah.
and he's so weird in this way. Someone, I think it was Matt's on the Discord, shared a video, a supercut of Zuckerberg doing a Facebook Live while barbecuing in his backyard, and it seems like he's trying so hard to be relatable to the common man. Keeps talking about like smoking some meats in the backyard. That's just what you do on Facebook Live. You put some Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce,
Oh, right.
smoke some meats. Like it's
Come on.
so weird.
Yeah, come on, average, everyday, masculine man. Give me
Yes.
the last drop of your savings account.
There's also a really good episode of a podcast called Pablo Torre Finds Out from September 12th, 2023, where he interviews a guy who showed up to do an amateur MMA fight, fighting other amateurs, and found out when he got there that he was fighting Mark Zuckerberg. It's really wild. And the
No
referee
way.
intervened early to stop Zuckerberg getting hurt in the MMA fight.
Holy
That's
shit.
funny.
It's a good listen.
Sounds like the Jake Logan one or whatever.
Remember how there was a scheduled supposed to be like an MMA fight between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, and then it's never happened.
Yeah.
And then Musk was always going like, I've got to start training, and I put on muscle very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it never happened. That would be very funny.
Instead of fighting, I decided to become really funny.
Well, like I guess at least Zuckerberg did get fit, but there's no way Musk is. He'd love to be like, I'm an MMA guy too, but he's not gonna actually get fit.
I think Zuckerberg and Musk should team up for a world tour of stand-up comedy.
You might remember after Trump got shot in the ear, Zuckerberg was like,
Earmarked.
that was one
as
of the
we
most
like to call
badass
it.
things I've ever seen.
But when he went fight,
Yeah.
right.
Like, see, he's just clearly kind of tilting right,
And
Joe
he-
Rogan-y.
Well, that's where the money is.
He and Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk were at the inauguration.
Mm.
They've all like bent the knee to like,
Mm.
I mean, Musk obviously,
Mm.
but Jeff Bezos and
Mhm.
It's
Zuckerberg
insane.
as
Like,
well.
I would.
Wonderful portrait of them all, watching him be inaugurated
Yeah.
there.
I saw
Beautiful.
someone show posts of like Elon Musk even like 6 years ago, and he was not like they all tilted so hard. It's crazy.
Well, I gotta say, our joint ideals of the three of us here and the group that we travel with in our comedy scene, our friends, we have the ideologies that have and the ethics of people that don't make money right now. That's what it is.
Mhm.
If you have a humanist or an empathetic bone in your body,
Or boner.
you're broke.
Mm-hmm.
You can't make that money because it's not as titillating to an angry person. Kindness is not exciting to make money.
We've got to find a way to monetize kindness to the point.
Where we're fucking rich.
Fucking rich. All of us got a Rolls Royce, private jet, so many bikini babes everywhere.
And we make videos. Kindness bought me this, bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't believe in kindness, you can kind of fuck off. That
Yeah.
could be our like T-shirt or like
Yeah.
a motto.
Yeah,
If you don't believe in kindness, fuck off.
I like that.
That's actually.
That'd be good on a
Yeah.
coffee mug too.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, in 25, Meta ended professional fact checking on Facebook and
Yeah,
Instagram,
that's
adopting
all.
a community notes system like they have on Twitter. This was seen as a cultural tipping point for less censorship and rhetoric mirroring Trump's anti-elitist stance. The Washington Post claimed Meta was going all in on MAGA. And like you said, Mike, Zuck was at the inauguration, posting positively about the event.
Right.
But I really don't think he gives a fuck either way. I think he's like a weird guy, just wants power. I think if in 28 it's like, I don't know, AOC or something, he'll just change and say he likes that. I think personally.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the landscape of the country at that time.
Dear God, yeah. So do we have anything else here? Oh yeah,
And the landscape of our country, to be honest.
his new outfit. You know, he now wears like a chain.
Mm-hmm.
He's got this longer hair.
Yeah.
I wrote
The Caesar
he
salad.
looks like he's in the band Swollen Members now. Remember them?
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Mad Child.
Pathetic. Yeah, Mad Child. And what was the other guy?
Prevail.
And
Mocha Only.
He looks like he's in fucking Swollen Members.
Yeah.
The changing your look in a calculated way is so pathetic to me.
Oh,
Especially when
wait.
you're already a billionaire. Like
Are you?
when you want to be cool,
Yeah.
fuck off.
Yeah, you're not cool.
No. Anyway,
Go live on an island, like in the tropics.
yeah.
All I want is for kindness to make me billions of dollars so I can have an island in the tropics. And then I will
Heavily
leave
guarded.
you alone.
Heavily guarded. If you come
Mhm.
within 30 miles of the island, shoot to kill policy.
Robot lasers blast your
Yeah.
ship out of the water.
Because we're trying to be kind over here, and you're kind of ruining the vibe.
So
kind revolution.
just to wrap up, as of April 2025, Mark Zuckerberg's net worth is estimated at $184 billion. And his companies, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, all have around 2 billion daily users. So 1 out of every 5 people on Earth.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucked up. So
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
a 2-part Mark Zuckerberg
Wow.
documentary.
Very interesting life of a very complex man.
Now exiting Mark.
Well, guys, maybe it's time we finally paid a visit to the
Evilometer.
Oh, here it comes. Oh, Evilometer. How come you've adopted a new shaggy, rugged look? You've got long hair, you're wearing a chain, and what's that you're holding in your hand? You've stolen all of our private data.
Evil.
I'm gonna go first. I thought about this already. I think he's a
Hmm.
9.1. I think he's really evil. He didn't kill anybody, I guess, directly, but I think he's really bad. That's my vote. On the evilometer. If you haven't listened, it's a scale. 1 out of 10. 10's the worst. 1's the least evil.
So you don't like freedom.
Yes, that's
So
true.
you think someone who has taken all the advantages of the good graces of the capitalist society that we've worked so hard to establish, they're evil just because they did it the right way? They gained their fortune the American way?
Well, yes.
So you don't like freedom.
Okay, fine. I don't.
And all those fake articles that clear you don't like freedom of information, freedom of speech?
No, I think that we should only be told what the CBC tells us.
Goose step to the CBC.
Well, who wants to go next, gentlemen?
I'll go next.
Oh, Mike.
It's time for me to unload on Zuck.
Oh, Mike,
I've
that
got a
sounded
lot.
sexual.
I've got a lot to unload. I
Yeah.
can't believe your mind went there. I'm going to give him a 9.2.
Okay.
I
Wow.
think
Oh.
he's done bad stuff for the Globe,
Yes.
and he's what do they call it? Stealing valor of real surfers
Mhm.
and
real MMA, fighters.
and that's not cool with me. Yeah,
Me neither.
so go to hell, Zuck.
I'm gonna give him an 8 because I'm giving him a point space between you guys, because now people in Hamilton know that I'm coming to do a show
Right.
in a couple weeks, you know, or whatever, what have you.
But even they limit if you put a post up with a ticket link, it buries it in the algorithm.
The algorithm
you
does
buy
want you
ads.
to pay $46 to sponsor an ad to let people know that you're doing something.
In
Yes,
Hamilton.
It
And-
does feel mean.
And by the way, I can't buy ads for our Evil Men Instagram account because I guess the name triggers something. So they're like, request a review. And I'm like, I did it. Nothing happens.
Weird.
So that pissed me off too. That adds a 0.1.
You know what? 9.
Nice.
I'm with you.
Let us advertise shows that aren't buried in the algorithm.
Let us
Mark.
pay you, Mark.
Yes.
But I have noticed I did a sponsored ad once for a video like a few weeks ago, and now everything I post does feel like it's got a harder uphill battle to get exposure, because it's almost like you know what we do when you give us $46.
Christopher, you know.
Christopher, we know what you said.
We know you have another $46.
We know what's in your bank account. When is social media going to be like hooked straight up to your bank account?
That's what
It probably
they're trying to do on
is.
X.
Yeah,
He's trying to turn X into a bank as well.
that'd be
I'm
so funny. Do you think that have you guys read Gary Steingart's book called
I read half of a book of his and I got annoyed by it and I didn't finish it.
is it the one with the where you can see everybody's
Social
like,
credit score,
yeah,
basically? Yeah.
and medical and
Yeah.
everything?
Yeah.
That's coming. A super sad place or something.
super sad love story, super
Yeah,
sad,
something like that.
whatever.
Anyways, look it up.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Mm.
We're almost there.
Hmm.
Because he can't date anybody because his finances, his financial like background, his medical background, it's all posted in front of you if you wear these like emblems that show it.
Right. Bit like that Black Mirror episode where they have scores.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, with Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah. Who looks just like that other redheaded woman. You know what we're talking about? She looks just like this other redheaded actress. You know what I'm talking about, Michael?
Yeah, I do.
Ron Howard.
Yes,
Michael.
that's her dad.
Jessica Chastain?
Yes.
Anyway.
So we all give Jessica Chastain
10 out of 10 on
10
the
out of
lovely
10.
scale.
for being such a great actress and a
And
nice
seems-
person.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
who knows? But anyway, we are running a little late, so we should probably wrap this up.
That was another great episode of.